What's up, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood Gold Wolf, and today we're going to talk about
Hades.
the king of the Underworld. His lore basically states that he was swallowed by his dad along with his brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, etc., and eventually escaped and defeated the Titans that once ruled the land. They drew for the land, and he got the Underworld. Interestingly enough, the people who got there hated it. What a shock. However, he loved the place, and wanted more dead people to fill it. What a caring guy. His abilities consist of Blight, which is his passive, which inflicts a debuff which shares his particles that we all know and love. The Blight lasts for 5 seconds. His first skill is called Death from Below. Hades descends underground and rises up, dealing a bit of damage, and applies Blight on the enemies hit in the circle. I level this second. His second skill is called Shroud of Darkness. It silences the enemy god for a second and up to 2 seconds at max level. I level this last, getting 1 point at level 4. It also has the ability to fear them as well if they are blighted. His third skill is called Devour Souls. Hades slams his staff on the ground, dealing damage and consuming the souls of blighted targets, healing you per blighted target hit for a decent amount. I level this first as it helps with sustain and does a little bit of damage. His last ability is Pillar of Agony, where Hades stands still, pulling his enemies in while screaming, dealing tons of damage over time. I level this when it's available. When I start the game, I like to rush Mystical Mark, as it is fairly mysterious and helps you in a lot of ways. It pairs exceptionally well with his ultimate, and at early levels does a significant amount of damage. It also gives you a decent amount of HP and physical protection for tanking some creeps. I grab 3 mana pots and proceed into the lane. I try not to waste his mana, because at level 5 you can most likely get a kill or two. I would typically go back before killing someone, so I can complete Mystical Mark before doing so. Whether you get a kill or not, your next item should be Void Pendant, which gives you magic power, magical protection, and an aura debuff on an enemy to lower their magical protection, thus making your ultimate and abilities even more strong than it was previously. Finally, I decide to buy boots, and the reasoning behind this is Hades doesn't have feet to begin with, so it would be silly of me to grab them early on. Next, I build the Obsidian Shard to keep up my damage and ensure max damage is being applied. Then I grab Gem of Isolation to make my ultimate even more devastating and make my chase even more deadly. Lastly, I build Rod of Tahuti to deal max damage. Buffs. Since I gave up the pure tank route, I typically grab the armor buff whenever it's available, so I can stay tanky. You don't really need to grab the others, and it's better to leave them for your carries anyway. In team fights, Hades is the definition of the pub stomper, in my opinion, because he excels at destroying what pubs love to do, group up. Because anytime a group gets together, he can come in and crash a party with a good old ultimate from hell, if you know what I mean. You can choose to initiate fights, but if your entire enemy team has purification beads, it is best to wait till after your team has gone in and started the fight, as people blow their purification beads fairly early, and since it has a long cooldown, you can come right in and ult them to death, playing cleanup crew Hades. So, if you want to counter Hades, it's fairly simple. You can just spread out, or simply put, just buy purification beads. However, by using that on when he ults, it leaves you susceptible for his other teammates, which is why it's best to pair Hades with another tank like Ymir, so you're not counting on him to completely tank for your team, as he's not really meant to tank. So, another important thing to note is his healing on Devour Souls. It is fairly strong, especially if you aim your Death from Below or 1 ability to carefully blight all 6 of the minions in the wave, and then use your Devour Soul ability, as the diameter of both abilities is the exact same. You'll heal for a substantial amount and can lane for a very long time. Another way to counter Hades is by having a Ymir on the enemy team. Simply because he isn't meant to truly tank, the CC from Ymir can really hurt Hades in terms of healing, and can really deny him from devouring his minions, and even if he does, he can always throw down his little ice path thing, which will deal damage and pretty much counter any healing he has done. So I hope you learned a thing or two about Hades, but I think it's time you...
Do not deny the inevitable. Follow me to the Underworld.
Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.